Okay, kinda clickbait title, controversial opinion on the internet. Oh yeah, YouTube comment section is gonna be spicy. Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and I hope you're doing fine. Today I'm gonna do a video that I rarely do, and it's like a feedback/review video. For you guys, but also for Crytek. So we're gonna discuss the last event, and I'm also discussing the last balance changes that they did. Now keep in mind, I'm not gonna go through all the patch notes, I'm just gonna take a few key points that I think are worth it to be covered in this video. Maybe I'm gonna do a second one in a couple of days or weeks. Let's see. One more thing though before this video starts, just to get all these speculations out of the way. No, I'm not stopping playing Hunt. Yes, I still think that Hunt is one of the greatest games ever, but at one point I think it's fair to criticize something and giving your honest opinion about something. I still have the utmost respect for any Crytek developer out there for creating this game. Okay, but I will dip into a few sensitive topics and it might not please everybody. Let's get this started. Let's start with probably the most controversial topic, or one of them. It's the Flashbomb. Yeah, what are we supposed to do with the Flashbomb right now? Yeah, that's probably pretty accurate. So that thing is freaking dead. I think the last couple of weeks I saw a Flashbomb 7 times. 5 times I brought it into the match. So if you're out of the loop, let's quickly talk about what they changed. So the animation time is huge. So you have to do the whole La Cucaracha dance before you can toss that thing. Bulwark just absolutely negates it completely. You, as a guy tossing it, you don't get a hit marker. So you don't know if your flash was just a bad toss or if the guy has Bulwark. Because very often you toss a flash bomb into a room and then you don't know if you actually hit the guy. So that's great. Did I fuck up my toss or does the guy have Bulwark? Great. Also, you know that gray screen that you have now? It's just like this, and the flash bomb is kind of gone. Now, all of this I could actually probably live with, but that's not it. You can't find the flash bomb in-game anymore. Recruitment hunters don't have them, and they removed it from Dark Tribute and challenges. Now, I have a question. Why don't you just delete it from the game if you dislike that thing so much? Like, I get it. I think they nerfed it mostly because a lot of people were crying about it. Just for the record, I wasn't crying about the Flash Bomb. I also rarely played it. I was kind of neutral about the whole Flash Bomb topic. But you have to be honest with yourself. They went overboard with this one. And I would like to see some changes to be reverted. At least, for example, from this list right here, maybe the last 3 ones. So we actually see the thing in-game again? I don't know. That is... sometimes they nerf stuff, and I personally think it's purely just so people will be quiet and stop nagging them. For example, the Dolch. I don't think the Dolch is worth 750 bucks. I know. Some of us have Bornheim and Dolch PTSD from back in the days where the stuff was actually broken. But at one point you kinda have to rechange stuff that you nerfed very, very hard. And I also don't think that many people died to flash bombs. If you compare that, for example, to frag bombs, dude, I kill each stream like dozens of people with frag bombs. Nobody bats an eye. But I think it was just extra salt when you die to the flash bomb because you feel kind of helpless when you don't know what you're doing. Alright, that's it for the flash bomb. Please revert a few things because or delete it. One of the two. Okay, Conduit, what do we do with this one? So I kind of get it why it got nerfed, because Conduit, especially for solos, it was a no-brainer. You take it. If you do not take Conduit, you're doing something wrong. Now, they nerfed it. It's now more expensive, 5 instead of 4 trade points. They reduced the timer. It's like only 3 minutes of stamina now instead of 5. And a bounty pickup doesn't trigger the effect anymore. One cool thing about it is, though, it doesn't matter who takes the clue, you still get the effect if you have Conduit. So that is nice. And again, I get it. That was just an S tier perk. But for solos, I think Greyhound and Conduit is better. Maybe difficult to fit 2 traits into your hunter during the event because, well, trait slots are limited. I think Maybe a tiny bit of adjustment to rebalance that would be cool. Maybe give it the trigger effect again when you pick up a bounty token. The reason why I'm saying this, because the dev said, yeah, we want Magpie for, you know, the token trade and Conduit for the clue trade. Yeah, but what do you do with Conduit on a single bounty map? Bomb lands, spawns at the boss, banishes super quickly, you get maybe one clue. You get 3 minutes of stamina for a 5-point perk. Yeah, that's not that great. But I can live with this. I think they went a little bit too hard on it. I get that they had to nerf it. That is justified. Maybe I tried a little bit more now with maybe a stamp shot and Conduit whenever I play loadouts where I have short rounds. For example, close range loadouts where I play shotgun and stuff like that. They never go that freaking long. Either I kill everybody or I die rather quickly. In my sniper loadouts, I'm definitely not gonna take that because my rounds are going too long. But if I have 10 minutes of stamina and I get maybe 2 to 3 3-minute buffs from Conduit in a shorter match, then you should be good. So yeah, Conduit, tiny bit overboard, but understandable. We have another topic though. I don't think that is very controversial, but I still want to talk about it, and it's ammo changes. Now they're adding more and more custom ammo, existing custom ammo, to other guns. For example, the Officer got bleed rounds, the Centennial got bleed rounds, stuff like that. And I'm using that quite a bit actually. The Officer Brawler with Dum-Dum rounds is probably my favorite pistol right now. But I still have to say it's kind of meh if they keep going like that. Because at one point, some guns will just lose their special touch. Right? So you took the new army back in the days because, hey, that thing had Dum-Dum rounds, the Officer doesn't have it, so let's play that pistol. And then they gave the Officer Dum-Dum rounds, and now I don't see a lot of reason to take the new army. Yeah, sure, there's the Swift, but yeah, but you see already where I'm going, right? That might feel awkward at one point, and it's kinda... I'm not a huge fan of that. The next thing is also, the more custom ammo you add to more guns, the more difficult it will become to balance it. Now, I talked already in a couple of videos about the Centennial with Dum-Dum rounds. One of the balance factors for the Centennial was that it deals less than 125 damage. So you cannot one-tap people in the torso once they lost a small bar. Now, with the bleed rounds though, the bleed round ticks once and you are dead. So during the event, maybe not the biggest deal because not a lot of people, you know, were bleeding, but might be an issue now. Now keep in mind though that the damage drop off for the Centennial starts very early, so in long range fights this will not happen too often. In compounds though, we will see that a little bit more. So I like the changes, but I'm a bit concerned about where they're going with this. I don't want at one point to have every pistol, every custom ammo. Or maybe it's a good thing. Let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not perfect. Next thing, let's discuss the new weapons. And this is going to be interesting. So baseball bat, love it, but honestly, I think it's a little bit too good. Yeah, I mean, we still have like horn skin in the game, but who picks horn skin? Then you survive the torso hit from the baseball bat. It is very, very efficient. Maybe a little bit too good for the 20 bucks. And honestly, I don't like balancing by price. I always think balancing by price should be your last resort. Okay, with your marksman, that is cool. I'm not playing it too much, but I think, yeah, why not? Then we have the Bornheim Silencer. That thing got absolutely cucked by the event because people didn't catch fire. We're gonna play that one in the next couple weeks more and more, and I think I'm pretty confident we can get some fun moments with it. The Berthier, sure, that is a really strong gun. The Bornheim Silencer, there's like a graph for fun, and there's one for being good, and it's somewhere at the breaking point. Yeah, it's fun, but it's not really good probably. Let's see though, since the event is over and people burn again, might be good. Uppercut Precision, Deadeye, played that a lot, really good weapons, but yeah, Upper Mat says goodbye. That thing was already hard to sell to people before the Uppercut Precision. Now you have the Uppercut Precision and it's like, yeah, sure, you have the crappy shotgun shell with the Upper Mat, but yeah, it's kind of an odd choice, especially since the upper mat wasn't that old, and then they introduced the uppercut precision. Like, I love the uppercut precision and the uppercut precision Deadeye, they're great. But maybe a bit too good. Let's see. Then Springfield Bayonet, absolute one of my top 3 from this list here, crazy. You play the Springfield now with bleed and normal ammo or high velocity, and when they survive the body tap, they have to stop the bleed, you go for the bayonet charge. It's great. I really like it, and I still think this one is balanced. And then we have the Vetterli Cyclone. I like it because it's something fresh. I don't like it because it's semi-auto. And with 500 plus bucks, this is absolutely not worth it. I think they go pretty hard on the price tag for a few weapons just to kind of block an overuse of the guns. But again, a regular Vetterli is so far off from 500 bucks. 4-shot semi-auto, is it really justified to ask for that many hunt dollars? I stopped playing it, and I don't see it very often. And even when I have, like, I don't know, a Centennial Trauma with bleed, and there's a Vetterli Cyclone on the floor, which costs, well, I don't know, the double of it, or probably even more, I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that. Okay, so that says already a lot. Okay, that's it for the new weapons, though. Let's talk about the weather. This might be a difficult topic, because I know that the player base is very split. First of all, let me say that the ambience and the sound from Rain is magnificent. It's great, it's awesome, it's amazing, it's a masterpiece. Like, almost everything that is about sound in Hunt Showdown is 2 thumbs up, AAA, and great. Sure, there's right now a little sound bug in the game that can be quite annoying, so let's be honest here, but once that's gone, we're gonna back to... You know, whenever people ask me what's the best thing about Hunt, you can say it's sound. You can actually see by hearing in this game where enemies are, with some map knowledge, which is crazy. I don't have that in other games. However, gameplay-wise, this is getting annoying rather fast. And I have to admit, it's kind of the same with Inferno. Inferno was a tiny bit worse, because the map was just burning the whole time, so if you were finding in a compound next to fire, you had that the whole time. With Rain, at least, you have phases where you can actually hear something with the light rain. Now, the issue that I personally, okay, have with this is that audio is insanely important in Hunt. It's one of the backbones. It's one of the supporting pillars of the game, and it is the backbone of Hunt Showdown PvP, the audio. And you strip the game from this. I know there are a few people like this because they can sneak then into the boss lair with the shotguns, and I get it, and that's a fair play. Sandbox game you can play however the fuck you want, okay? But at the end of the day, you're taking away this huge audio greatness for this loud rain. And I think the main issue that I have with that is that the heavy rain phase is just too long. So let's talk a little bit about weather in general. If they do any other daytime settings, please leave the audio alone. I beg you, okay? The issue that I see is very often, not always, when I play Rain and Fog, people leave. So I see at the end, when I click on team details, the match is full, but maybe I encounter 1 or 2 teams. Now you can say, yeah, okay, everybody else was fighting somewhere else and you just didn't hear it. Fair point, but I know that some people just don't play these maps. Because it cripples key abilities from your loadout. If you play a sniper and it's fog or it's raining, then you cannot play your loadout the way it's meant to be played. So that's kind of meh, honestly. Now, of course, you can argue now, hey man, that also means less solo long ammo snipers, and that's great. And I do understand that point. But you also have the other thing that it's kind of bad because you have half-dead lobbies. I mean, sure, if you just want to have a quick bounty token after killing 1 team or maybe 2, sure, fair enough. I kind of get bored from rain matches or fog matches because maybe I have a spawn fight and then later nobody shows up again. This is not an easy fix either, because you can just, yeah, they're in the map pool and you have to deal with it. I would like to have alternative options for my loadout. I know this is not something that you can implement in a week or two, but let me prep maybe a second loadout, because I don't mind fog. I don't mind playing on a rain map most of the time, but I definitely don't mind playing fog with, for example, a shotgun or some, you know, iron sight rifles. It's great. I like playing that. What I don't like to play is sitting there with my Mosin sniper at, I don't know, less than 100 meters against a super aggressive trio, and I die because I cannot play my loadout properly. I know, skill issue. So I see very often comments, hey, why can we just not break off the scope and you play with the iron sights? Yeah, okay, the problem is this will most likely not work because you have legendary skins, and how do you break off the scope when you have all these stripes and whatnot and cloth pieces on some of the sniper weapons? Just doesn't work. The same thing is when people say, hey, just give us a trait. You can actually use the iron sights on some of these scope weapons, maybe with toggle fire mode if you don't have two ammo types, or I don't know. You can actually use the iron sights, and the drawback is that the scope is blocking a lot of your screen. I don't know, I think it's a balance reason that you can't take that off or switch between the two. So why not give us the option to prep a second loadout and we just switch it at the beginning of the match. Hey, do you want to play your primary loadout or do you want to play your backup loadout? Because I personally would not leave then. Sure, man, if somebody really wants to snipe, then they're still gonna leave because they don't want to play that map. But it might help. Not an easy fix, I admit, but maybe that's an option in the future. So that's it with the weather. Please no more audio, do something else. If it's about the vision, okay, fine enough. I think I can live with that, but not the audio, please. Alright, and then let's talk about event traits. Now, before we start this chapter, please keep in mind that this is almost purely from a solo point of view. 90% of my matches I play alone and the rest is duos. I almost never play trios, so this will definitely leave a mark on my opinion here. And I'm gonna be honest, the last couple weeks of the event were not great. They were not enjoyable and they were kind of a drag. Because the balance was off by a mile. Let's talk about the Inferno Pact a little bit. I think that the Death Pact was nicely balanced, Demented too weak, and Inferno too strong. You have Blazeborn making you immune to fire. It's actually healing you on top when you're standing in fire. You have an antidote shot, so you're immune to poison. And then if you have Bloodless, while you have the Inferno Pact, you're also immune to bleeding. Bit much. This was kind of an odd choice, and at least from a solo point of view, Death was okay, but you really go the Inferno Pact, normally. With Rampage getting your bars back and not being able to burn easily. And it was just odd. Now, I might be wrong here about the pick grade, okay? I think the pick grade for Inferno was the highest. By far. And before people say, no, well, the pick rate is, and this is not me leaking or anything, I'm guessing, 50% for Inferno, 30% for Death, and 20% for Demented. And then you can say, hey, but this is still okay, as long as there's nothing at 70 or 80%, really good. I disagree, because pick rate alone does not tell you how much fun you have playing against this. Okay? So, sure, the pick rate might not be 80% for Inferno, but every time you do encounter somebody with Inferno, it was goddamn annoying for me personally. And weirdly enough, this is coming from somebody who profits the most from it. Solo players with Blazeborn, you need a Firebomb to drop them down to 5 HP, and then you still need a Lantern or Bear Trap or Concertina Trap or something to finish them off should they stand up. And this is really, really odd, if I'm honest with you. Finishing off people with fire is one of the core mechanics in Hunt Showdown since day one. And that got kind of blocked. I think you need, I don't know, I think it's 7 lanterns to burn somebody if you don't have a firebomb. And normally I say, yeah, if you have problems with solos, like pre-event, I said, hey, just pick a firebomb and they're gonna die to the firebomb. You cover that and then you move on. Easy. Simple. You might not like that, but this is the most efficient way. And that got kinda taken away. And sometimes you can't bring enough firebombs because sometimes you fight more than one solo. It is not great. And I just want to make absolutely clear here one thing. I do not expect perfect balance on day one. This is impossible. I'm fully aware of this, okay? Even if you do playtests, internal playtests, you invite playtesters, or you have your discussion meetings about balance, and so on. This is absolutely impossible to balance this perfectly on day one. And I have no issue with that. There's one thing, though, that I have an issue with this event and with how Crytek is handling this. That they're not adjusting and rebalancing stuff. And this is something that I absolutely expect from Crytek in the future. And this sounds now maybe a little bit entitled, okay, I get that. That they change stuff during the event. At least once. At least once. Like after 2 weeks, it was absolutely obvious that Inferno was not okay. Sure, not maybe a 90% pick rate, but an easy fix would have been, in my opinion, of course I'm not a game dev, the moment you're down, you just burn normally, even with Blazeborn. That's it. That's all that was needed, in my opinion. Now, I'm aware you can't just change stuff that easily, because you have to push another patch to Steam. That might even cost money, I don't know that. And if you have it for console 2, you probably go through the whole validation process from Microsoft, and it's not that easy. I get that. But honestly, I did not have fun, or not as much fun as I normally have while playing Hunt Showdown, due to Blazeborn the last month. And of course, even if this costs money, I don't know an exact number, but if it's not astronomically high, honestly, patch it. Because you lose players who burn out because they force themselves playing something that is not fun, and once the event is over, they're like, bye. And maybe you don't see them come back with the next event. So it happened now twice that something during the event, or maybe even 3 times, that something during the event was broken and Crytek did not patch it. And honestly, either somebody from Crytek tells me why the hell, so I'm gonna shut up and I understand it, and then I can also spread the message why that's the case, but it can't be resources. It can't be resources. I am friends with a lot of developers, not from Crytek, but I accompanied a lot of games in development stages, and they said, yeah, this can't be impossible to patch. There has to be a different reason. Maybe they want to test events and deaths or event traits, and that's why they don't want to change it. But honestly, holy crap, dude. So I have to suffer here 4 weeks plus just to get some data? How about you collect some data on the patch stuff and people might be happy? So this is something that is a thorn in my side, honestly, with no adjustments during the live event. There has to be a reason that I'm not aware of. I would like to know that. But, yeah, it's awkward, and it kind of ruins the fun, and I'm worried about the next event then, if we have a similar case. And again, I do not expect perfect balance on day one, but once you see that something is too strong or not fun to play against, no matter the pick rate, by the way, maybe after 2 weeks, you want to adjust that, so the next 6 weeks are not a pain in the butt? I don't know. And there's one more thing, and then I'm done with the event traits. You also have to consider the ripple effects from them. There were a few discussions the last couple of weeks that got more intense than they already are. For example, again with Necromancer. Because people already have an issue with solo revived Necromancer. I did a video about that where I discussed everything, so I'm not gonna dip into that topic again. But stuff like Blazeborn or the event traits buff Necromancer, and a lot of people are whining about Necromancer, although the issue is Blazeborn right now and not Necromancer. So a lot of old topics flared up again because the event perks did not get rebalanced during the event. Okay, then we have one more thing I want to talk about, and that is future. So let's jump to the last thing I want to discuss today. What do I wish for future events? Now, of course, I know Christmas is still a few weeks in the future, and I hope I do not sound too entitled. But this would be my feedback, my wish list for future events. Do not touch the audio with any new daytime settings. Alternative options to play our loadouts, because then you can dump all the vision impairing maps on me and I will still play them and most likely enjoy them. I would like to see more unique weapons. So I was really... Yeah, a Cyclone is still kind of a variant, but the baseball bat is cool, that is new. I want something fresh. I know this takes more work. I'm fully aware of that. Making a variant is less work than completely designing a new gun, especially if it's something like a bomb plant, but that would be so amazing. And the Hunt universe has all the potential for that. Dip into that. And life balancing during the event. I would like to see more new mechanics. For example, this is what I like about these event trades, because they work with Dark Side, and I would like to see that more. Just using Dark Side on a trade that triggers a restoration effect is not really using Dark Side. So give us more in that direction. That would be cool. The Hunt lore is giving you so many options where you can go nuts with Dark Side. Even, you know, it doesn't always have to be super realistic, but that's nice. I don't want to be the guy then always criticizing people, right? Hey, you're telling us to do new stuff, but then you don't like it, and then you're gonna be mad. I'm mad about not adjusting the stuff afterwards. Like, try new stuff, I'm all here for it, but after a couple of weeks and we realize, hey, this is... Yeah, sadly it happened, and that was not the greatest idea. We need to tune it. We need to tweak that. That would be great. And with that, Hunt Showdown, still my most favorite game with probably 8,000 hours played, okay? And I hope we're gonna play a couple more 1,000 hours in the future. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. I know, no gameplay video, and it's just boring Mike talking about theoretical stuff, and he's wrong anyway. Yeah, let's see about these comments here. They're gonna be spicy. Almost as spicy as my patrons right here. You guys, as always, freaking amazing. Thank you for all the support that you're dropping over at Patreon. Much appreciated. There are still a few people who got picked by the Playtime Roulette and they didn't message me. I mean, fair enough, but I just wanted to let you guys know. That's it. Thank you for watching. Balancing and implementing new stuff into an already kind of old ecosystem is sometimes pretty tough. See you in the next one. Until then, have a good day and bye-bye.